And everywhere I make 5,000 a day, 6,000 a day, 7,000 a day sometimes. And I'm on the streak. And then all of a sudden, these thoughts start coming up in my head when I'm going to the grocery store. It's like, why this grocery store clerk is making $15, $20 an hour. I just made 2,000 in an
What
hour,
happens
you know?
sometimes is, as a trader, you reach certain thresholds of success, and sometimes you find yourself stagnant where you can't achieve more than that, and it has nothing to do with your trading. Understanding and shifting that mindset from failure to learning. You're not failing as a trader.
I tell people, in a way, you have to believe the strategy. If you,
Mhm.
I could give you the way I trade. David could show us the way that he trades, but if you don't believe in it, you're not going to trade it well.
And with all honesty, the Conscious Trading Academy, the big intention behind that is how many people can we unplug from the matrix? And I don't want to sound cheesy.
That is what I was going to say, bro. It sounds like you're pulling people out of the rat race. What's up, traders? Welcome to the Day Trading Show. My name is Austin Silver. If you're new, I'm the host. I really appreciate you being here. Today, I sit down with two special guests. We've got Sam and David. It's David's second time on the podcast, but it's Sam's first time. We're talking about their new partnership called the Conscious Trading Academy. Now, a lot of the times we have guests on the podcast, we end up talking a little bit about trading psychology, a little bit about their background, and then we get into their strategy. Today is zero strategy. It's all psychology, which is super important. As most of you know, strategy really can be taught to anyone. Trading psychology is much harder to master. And I think today we'll give you an insight as to how you can do that. So make sure you stay all the way through. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to bring these boys back for another episode soon. I don't want you to miss that as well. But I think you guys are going to love this. So stay through till the end. Drop a comment. If you have any questions, we'll make sure to ask them on part 2. But enjoy my conversation with Sam and David. What's up, traders? Welcome back to the podcast. I am blessed today to be joined by two exceptional men, David Capablanca and Sam Daghash. Boys, it's good to have you both here. David, you're back for round 2. Sam, this is your first time, so I'm looking forward to having you guys here. I think the audience is going to love the conversation. Just so everybody knows, we tried to do this podcast yesterday. I encountered some random internet issues. So we're here for take 2. And I think sometimes, guys, that second take is always that second win that we all love. So started off great yesterday. I want to roll forward into today. But before we get into the Conscious Trading Academy and everything we want to talk about there, I want to pass the mic, like I did yesterday, first to Sam. Sam, could you just introduce yourself to the audience, who you are, how you got here, how you met David, and how long you've been involved with traders?
Sure. So my name is Sam Daghash, as you said. I'm based out in Dubai. I have my own practice. So I'm an alignment and breakthrough specialist. In other words, I'm a master coach and practitioner that works with reconditioning the mind. And a part of my speciality is working with traders. And I've been doing that for over 5 years. And how we got along and how we got to know David and connect with him is there was one of the traders that I worked with actually had a following which I wasn't even aware of, and as we started working together, he decided to publicly share his story. You see, the work I do is pretty private. I'm sure you know, Austin, when you're working with people in terms of the mindset and some personal emotions, etc. So this gentleman decided, look, he got over his anxiety. He started performing better at trading. And he's like, I just want to go public. So he shared his story. And he was a common friend with David. And that's how me and David connected. So David, I think it was in 2021, invited me late in 21. I think he invited me to do a podcast. So we spoke, we connected then. And then now I've been a guest at his podcast for three times already, I think, or 4 times. And since then, we developed a relationship, and Conscious Trading Academy was born through friendship as well as really getting to know each other on a deeper level.
I love that. And David, if you could as well, really quick, I know a lot of people know you from the previous episodes and your own show, but could you give everybody an overview of who you are and everything you've got going on real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm David Capablanca. I'm based out of LA now. I got in contact with Austin through the trade space in Puerto Rico, and I was trading there in 2021 and 2022. After I had some initial success in 2020, I went to Puerto Rico for not only the tax incentive, but also to further my learning. And I had a good amount of success thereafter, but I hit like a roadblock, and there's only so much work you can do on your own. For myself, through discipline and just through just a constant, just grind, and And that's when when I heard about the other trader that had success with Sam. I reached out to him, and by the way, I started the podcast in Puerto Rico, the Friendly Bear podcast, and I've had Austin on a couple of times. And yeah, the podcast was started for me to expand my learning, to go and seek knowledge and interview these great traders that are hidden for the most part, or like, short sellers especially. I'm a stock short seller in stocks. And yeah, so when I got in contact with Sam, we did a lot of work because I had my relationship with money was off. Just my social conditioning from like all growing up and through my previous career, and was throwing me off for trading. That served me for my career, but it didn't serve me in trading. For example, I was working by the hour before. I had a career salary. My parents are immigrants. They came here and went through college, went through a career path. So constantly as a child, like growing up and with this relationship with money tailored for that. And then now I'm doing grind mode, 18 hours, 20 hours studying the stocks in Puerto Rico in the trade space, talking about stocks at lunch, breakfast, dinner, the coffee shop, softball on Sundays, discipline, David Goggins style, hardcore. And like I still would hit that ceiling because like something was off internally and I had to dig deep and figure it out, So that's where like it just was a tremendous breakthrough for me when when we did that work together. And it just was like, now I see myself, if you were to go back and like a year and a half ago, 2 years, I'm a different person. I see
Really?
myself, yeah, like I see myself differently. Like it's just yeah, I've changed. It's like an evolution,
Yeah,
So
you've evolved.
yeah, I've evolved absolutely. And yeah,
That's beautiful. That
yeah.
really is. It's a beautiful thing to have a partnership born from the success that you guys found together in your working relationship. Similar to the guys that I run my business with, James and Evan and Tom, they're all guys that I helped coach and help them make money trading for the first time when they struggled before that. And now they still work with me and they're kind of like our ground up coaches, very similar to you guys, where they've come in and then we formed a partnership and now we bring that value to the world. So I love that. I could definitely relate to that. We got to give a shout out to, it's funny, I'm talking to you today, bro. And yesterday I talked to Francie yesterday. He hit me up to catch
Oh
up for the
man,
first time.
cool.
Shout out to Francie. He's a good guy, bro. All the guys. Shout
Yeah,
out to Lucci. Shout out to
yeah.
everybody there. We love the trade space boys. But it's great. So I would love to hear, if we can, David, a little bit more from you first about that work that you and Sam did. I like when we call it the work because that's what, we reference when we go deep in psychological digging and we try to pull some threads. But I don't want to get too personal or as personal as you want to get. But tell me like more about what that work looked like. Give the audience an idea and then we'll stem that into what does the Conscious Trading Academy partnership that you guys have now, what is that doing? How did it evolve into that, so to speak?
Okay, so it's pretty deep, but let's touch the surface on it. So going back to just working on my self-worth, that I'm worthy of success. I'm worthy, for example, like limiting beliefs, like why is 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month too much? Why not? It's just an extra zero I got to add at the end. Just like when I'm trading with a certain size, for me to size up, like so what's the difference between me adding an extra zero at the end of my size orders or a couple of zeros? So it's like, and then being used to it. Or like, I used to have this issue a lot, man. It would haunt me. It's I think someone called it like survivor's remorse or something like that. Or yeah, it's Stockholm, no, not Stockholm, but something like it. So like everywhere I would go, there was one point where I was hitting all-time highs about a year and a half ago. And everywhere I make 5,000 a day, 6,000 a day, 7,000 a day sometimes. And I'm on the streak. And then all of a sudden these thoughts start coming up in my head when I'm going to the grocery store. It's like, why this grocery store clerk is making $15, $20 an hour. I just made 2,000 in an hour, or like I would take an Uber, and I used to drive Uber when I first started trading. I used to drive Uber for a solid 6 months. I put in 3,000 rides. Like I was legit 3,000 Uber rides, man, and Lyft and Grubhub and DoorDash and Postman. I combined it all for like 6 months. So like you're working for I used to hit a goal of $100 a day, and then
Right.
I would stop trading. Now I would stop driving. $100 a day, and I would stop driving. And then and sometimes it would take a long time to hit that 100. So
How did
So
that
then when
mess
I
with you though? Like, because I think a lot of people can relate to that. Speak on how, like, when you go to the grocery store and you see that person, or you get in the Uber and you're like, this is going to cost $40 and I just made 4,000 today. What
yeah,
did that do? Did that affect you negatively? And you were trying, and you
yeah.
realized that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so it's just a lingering thought, and it's like your I always talk about mental capital. Your mental capital is being applied towards these things that are distracting and limiting your growth, so it doesn't serve you. And so like when I would go to trade, it would throw me off. I'll run into the secretary at she's in my office here at the floor. I don't know how much she's making, but like she's not making a few thousand like I am. And then everywhere I'd go, and then like it would haunt me. It's like, what makes me different? Like I just learned this. I didn't realize like the value that I had. So when we did the work together, I started to realize I am worthy of success. Everybody has a chance, and we're in a free society. Everybody has a chance to learn something and learn for themselves and start a business and take a risk. So like, and the work I did was exponential amount of work. I'm worthy of this success. This is like, when all those days I was sleeping in the office, grinding, I've seeked knowledge. I've started a podcast. I took risk. I put in a lot of work. So it's like, I started to like value myself differently. So, and then like everybody has a chance to do what I did. I started from the absolute nothing.
Seriously.
So it's become a different view. I viewed myself differently. I value myself differently, and like a lot of negative experiences that I've had in the past, especially growing up. We did a lot of work
That's what I was going to
from
say.
like
This probably goes to your childhood and like the way
yeah,
you were
yeah,
taught about money from a kid,
exactly.
and the financial experiences you have as a child, for sure, right?
Absolutely, and that's the part that it just goes deep down the rabbit hole. And Sam, it's a private thing, but like the main thing is to get the learnings from your previous life and
I
move
was just going to
forward.
say
Don't
from your previous self. Exactly. Yeah.
take the learnings, take what you learn from it, and don't take all the other stuff, the trauma, the
What
pain,
were
and
you
all
doing?
that.
Were you holding on to pain, holding on to grudges specifically? Were you, because like,
Yeah,
I know a lot of people who hold grudges, bro, like very strongly hold grudges against people for longer than I can comprehend. And it blows my mind to see people carry some of that dead weight, but it does impact them still to this day. What's up, traders? The best way to learn how to trade is not through a trading course. I sell a course that teaches my strategies, and I'm telling you that honest advice. The best way to really learn how to trade is to watch experienced traders with proven track records navigate the live market. Now, when I got started as a trader, I was able to watch one of Wall Street's best traders live for a full day, just one day. And it made a huge impact on my trading. I still use some of the principles that he shared that day today, 6 years later. So now, as I've built my reputation and my brand as a trading coach, I want to turn and give the trading community something back. We've started the Netflix for traders. It's called ASFX TV. It's now only $10 per month. It's the same price as Netflix, basically, where you can come and watch me and 3-4 other full-time traders navigate the markets live. And again, this is the best way for you to learn how to trade. You'll see us take trades. You'll be able to participate in some of them if you'd like. It's never financial advice. I have to be very clear about that. It's for entertainment purposes only, but you're going to actually see how a real full-time trader navigates the London session and New York session every day of the week. So click the link down below in the description. Maybe there's a card flying in on the screen. Take the 3-day free trial. Check it out. See if you're interested. You don't just get the live streams. You actually get to watch the recordings of any streams that you missed as well. So it's a no-brainer. For $10 a month, it's a no-brainer. So check it out. Link down below. Now back to the video.
yeah. So what they need to do is they need to, the main thing is, so like I didn't have that. In fact, I wanted to repair relationships. I wanted to like repair. It's like, what's gonna help me grow as a person and as a trader. And like I had a friend say to me, he's like, to be a better trader, you got to be a better person. So it's
I
like
was just going to say
constantly.
that. So you think that's true, right?
Absolutely. So like you free up the mental capital at the end of the day, instead of holding this negative stuff, this baggage, you free up the mental capital. And now when I go to the screen, it's a mirror but like I'm in the matrix. Now I'm focused. That mental capital is extreme focus, because like it's like a chess game. If you make one mistake and you're distracted, they say in chess mistakes come in pairs. So like if you just one mistake, that could be a pair of mistakes.
Yeah,
So it's like,
100%.
so like what do you need for that next level? For me, it was it was definitely working on that internal work for me to grow. Cause like, you know what's crazy? It's like no matter how disciplined you are, or like when I was working on it on my own, I was like, how do I do this? Why do I keep doing hitting this block? Why did I trade this setup? Why did I oversize? Why did I undersize? Why am I not more confident in this? I knew this trade was a slam dunk, and it's just everything was unbalanced, internally. So it's like, I was, it's like, what can you do for that extra edge, constantly? And me as a discretionary trader, especially, I need to be able to gather a lot of information and be focused and laser focused, sharp, and just, to do what I do and do what I love and do what I do best. So, yeah, so yeah, so that, like I said, 2 years ago, different person. I was kind of like insecure of my success. When people ask me, what do you do for a living? I'm like, oh, I still was like architect. I was kind of like, they're not going to understand what a trader is. Now, like, I am a
So many
trader. Like,
people can relate to that. I
I
bet
see
so many
myself as
people.
yeah. So like, I see myself as a trader, a podcast host. Now I can inspire others to, if they don't like their career, there's opportunities out there. Maybe with trading, absolutely, but like even a bigger picture with entrepreneurship and capitalism, and these things that I go into in my podcast as well. I know you've seen the stuff I've done, like with I invited some value taming guys on there, like that.
I
So
saw
like,
that, bro. That was an
yeah,
interesting. You had Sauce on there. How did you? And you had
a biz
what's
doc,
his
the
Biz
biz
Doc?
doc.
Sorry, Biz Doc. How did you get in touch with Tom?
So I messaged him through Instagram.
Because he's not that
Yeah,
popular on Instagram yet, so that makes sense,
he's not.
right?
So you got to be savvy a little bit,
Bro, I think he is so smart. I'm so glad. Like, I love that podcast. Sidebar,
Yeah.
PVD podcast is my favorite podcast by far. They've got Pat firm down the middle, Tom with the biz doc, with the mindset of owning businesses and scaling, and then you've got Adam with his thing, and now Vinny. Like, they're great, bro. I love them.
Yeah, yeah. No, in fact, they inspired me. That was partially a few I'm a big podcast guy, but
Yeah.
like they were a part of like my vision for a podcast. You
Oh,
know?
and now look at what they're doing, bro. They bought an
Yeah.
office. They've got a whole
Oh,
studio. It's unbelievable.
I
They
love
they
that.
are,
Yeah.
dude. They are a model for us to follow for sure.
Inspirational. Absolutely.
Inspirational.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
Sam, I want to pass the mic to you. David, great info. I appreciate you sharing it. And yeah, we touched the surface, but I think still people can find like relatability to what you're talking about. So
Yeah.
first question, Sam, I want to come like a little stemming off of what David was saying. Do you find, Sam, in the work that you've done with traders over the last couple of years, that a lot of them have the same issues, or is each trader's issue kind of unique?
I would say there are certain root causes that are very similar. So, in terms of self worth and just self belief and self trust, you see, what happens is, first and foremost, you must remember that 5% of our conscious mind is what we operate in on a day to day basis, and 95 of it is unconscious. It's those set of habits, behaviors, values, belief systems, conditioning ultimately, which we pick up from the moment we were born right to this moment, right? So that shapes up our personality. And as David was saying, I just wanted to comment on something which was great that David was sharing that publicly. But what tends to happen sometimes is, as a trader, you reach certain thresholds of success. And sometimes you find yourself stagnant where you can't achieve more than that. And it has nothing to do with your trading. It really only has to do with your internal perception of your success and how you see yourself. The moment you break that within yourself and you understand, and I mean it not on a conscious level, I mean it on a deep unconscious level, that you are worthy to make $1 million, to make $10 million. Because a lot of people, the moment you say, would you make 100,000? They'll be like, yeah, I'm comfortable. But the moment you talk millions, they change, their physiology changes, the way they perceive themselves. So what tends to happen is some people and some traders, they would reach a certain level and all of a sudden they start to make certain errors that they would never make before. They would start to behave a certain way and they're like, why did I do that? And what's happening is your unconscious mind, the operating system of who you are, takes over and literally will self-sabotage you to create those errors, because it says, hang on, this is your limit. This is where you've been conditioned by society, by your parents, by the world, of where you sit in terms of a level of success. But ultimately, we all strive, right? So, but generally speaking, there are general root causes, coming back to your question, but there are certain things that are more unique, that are different, because everyone has their own story, right? So we have to go within that mind and identify what blocks they have, what limiting beliefs they have, and how they're perceiving themselves. The moment they change that from within, they get into alignment. As in other words, what David was saying, he's, waking up to his truth, that he is worthy of all of the work he's put in. He's worthy of being success, worthy of publicly saying, I want to succeed and I want to inspire, right? And that's the breakthrough that we have. And then again, you grow and you move to a certain threshold, and there's another block that you need to overcome. A lot of it is unconscious, Austin. That's what
I was going to say. So
yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I do want to ask, just stem off of that, because I know you know your stuff, Sam. I know you could keep going on that point, and I want to stick on it. The conscious versus the unconscious thoughts.
Yeah.
If you think consciously, I can be a trader, I am a trader, I'm making money trading, like as a new, maybe year 1, year 2, year 3 kind of guy, you're starting to figure it out. It's easier sometimes, I think, to be in the conscious mind thinking you're confident, but maybe like you're saying in the unconscious, you are actually not confident. You actually don't believe that fully. So have you seen that? Okay, so that is correct. That the outside, the appearance can still be confident. You could be out there telling everybody about your trading, but internally you could be not confident at all.
100%. Yeah. So that we call this congruency. So congruency is you when you say something, sometimes we call it, there's a process where it's like almost like you're forcing it and you're declaring it, but there's a part of you that either you suppress it or you don't want to face it, that is not in alignment of your full truth, meaning I am a successful trader, I can earn $1 million, I can make this and that. So for example, right? And only in certain circumstances that it reveals itself. It reveals itself when you're trying to grow. It reveals itself when you're reaching a certain threshold. It reveals itself in certain circumstances. And either you're good at suppressing it and distracting yourself, or going, hang on, this is a pattern I need to work on, and where is it coming from? And that's the depth of the unconscious mind. That's where you go. And in the line of work we're doing at Conscious Trading Academy, we're helping traders identify those blocks. So we're guiding them how to identify them, and then actually giving them neurotransformational tools. Because I'm a practitioner, Austin. I'm not just a coach. So a practitioner means they actually have modalities that use to bypass the analytical mind, because remember, we have the conscious mind, the unconscious mind. We have something called the analytical mind that sits in between, that goes, you can't bypass, I'm not going to show you where your weakness is. I don't want to admit it. I don't want to go there. You know what I mean? Because it's the ego that sits in the way.
You're literally taking, that's where my thought was going, is that like the ego is the thing that separates you from really transforming the unconscious mind. And normally, tell me if I'm wrong again, it's probably people accepting their shortcomings that stands in the way a lot of the time, right? It is you thinking that you need to hide your mistakes or hide the losses or hide the failures in your life beforehand that holds you back from in really being your true self. When you embrace those failures for the lessons that they have, you probably can tap deeper. Is that fair?
It's very fair what you're saying, but it's all about perception. You say the word failure. For example, one of the principles that we want to do at Conscious Trading, or that we're doing right now, is understanding and shifting that mindset from failure to learning. You're not failing. As a trader, if you see yourself as a failure, then you're already putting yourself down, and you're already changing your state, and you're giving yourself a shot at failure, because you're saying I'm failing. So the idea is the linguistics starting there. Hang on. If I'm making an error today, if I lost some money, whatever, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this experience so I'm growing? And also taking that as part of the journey, as opposed to not that's where, we had a conversation, me and you off camera, Austin, yesterday, if you remember. It was like, most of the problems with traders is, number one, the ability not to know how to deal with a loss, and how long that lingers and affects their state of being. So then they because remember, when we're in a state, because it's all states, it's like programs, right? So I just lost now I'm like, damn it, I need to get that back. So what am I going to do? So you narrow your focus. You're not open-minded. So you're missing out opportunities. A. B, you're now trying to get that back, because you don't want to end your week or your month but with that on your record. You know what I mean? We've all been there, right? So but that state, that person, that version of yourself is not serving you. You're actually setting yourself for more real failure in that perspective. If we
100%. No, 100%. Where do we, a lot of us, I know you were brought up all over the world, Sam, as we were talking yesterday, but people like me that are brought up in the States, what are you taught from kindergarten? If you fail the test because you got so many wrong answers, you failed. Like I just said it, failed, loss, wrong, fail, loss,
Yeah.
wrong. That's what we're taught
Yeah.
over and over and over. Not, hey, you were wrong. Let's learn from this. No, you were wrong. Go figure it out on your own is what they tell you. They put the F on the paper and hand it to you and say, figure it out.
Yeah.
That's it. So it's like we are conditioned in so many ways, I'm sure, to look at losses the wrong way if you're going to try to be a trader. And I would say you could apply this to probably a lot of high performance activities. I would look at like poker, golf as two other ones that I think of all the time. Golfer can't look at the wrong, if he hits a bad shot, he can't look at that as something to be, oh, the whole round is over. No, bro, you got to learn how to not let that happen again. And we got to move forward,
So true, man. So true. So it's about having an empowered mindset at the end of the day. This is what we want to inspire others is how do I approach this? What's the right mindset for success as a trader? What does that really look like? But we're not talking fluffy stuff at the top surface level. We're talking full deep integration work of going, I believe in myself. But dude, when I say that, I really feel it in every cell of my body. I'm not just saying that to convince myself, I'm not saying that to make myself feel better. I genuinely believe that learning is the best way. Like getting that fully conditioned in your mind and removing all those limiting beliefs, those blocks, things that you've been, like you said, in the US. But by the way, this is a general thing in our society. It's not only in the US. I've seen it in different parts of the world where everything is, if you don't get certain approvals externally, you're a failure. If you don't perform a certain way, so we put ourselves on a pedestal we'll only become good enough as people, as traders, as a human being for that matter. And so only when we get external validation, when we're having this and this, so we create those terms. It's not really us, it's been conditioned to us.
It is. That's society makes you think that that's the way to go. Right.
Exactly. But
and it normally leads to unhappiness, right? If you follow that, it leads to unhappiness in general, correct?
Of course, because when will you get fulfilled, man? If
because all you're doing is trying to make other people happy, and none of those people even care about you. That's what my dad always used to say to me. He would be like, 100%. The people you think are thinking about you couldn't care less about you. 100%. They got their own problems. No disrespect, no negativity, but you're worried about what the world thinks of you when the world has other problems to handle. You got to focus on you. That's always stuck with me. It's the same thing.
100%. Wise man, your father. This is very true. You see, the thing is always moving and focusing on what do you see yourself. Austin, it's about really being honest with yourself and going, how do I see myself in this world as a successful trader? Do I really believe I'm a successful trader? Do I believe that I have the potential to become a successful trader? What do I believe about money? Money is always a big topic. We also teach this at the academy of like your relationship with money, because a lot of the time we've all been conditioned again that money is the bee's knees, and if we don't know how to make it, or if we don't know how to do this, or and there's always that lack consciousness, a lack mentality around money, right? So first get yourself in order internally, and then externally everything will start to project in your reality, because it's an internal external process, man. And everything I'm sharing with you, Austin, this is not woo-woo. This is actually science. This is neuroscience. It shows our reality is an internal outward. So it's a projection. Everything you're experiencing in life is a projection of your internal processes. What do you believe about yourself when it comes to trading? That's why if you get your stuff in order, David, and I'm only saying this about David because I've worked with him personally and I know him as a trader, but why do you think David sees more opportunities than others? No, he's just in alignment more than others. So he is able to pick up things when people are focused on certain aspects where it's coming from, but it's all there. Do you know what I mean? It's all there. It's how is he deleting, distorting, and generalizing information, data that's coming in? How is he analyzing that data? And you will never know how to analyze data correctly if you have blocks within your system, if you have misperception, misfilters that are going, no, I'm going this because this.
It's like you're looking at it with the wrong glasses.
100%, man. It's a different.
Yep.
It's a different perception, right?
Yep.
And that's how it's all connected to your nervous system. It's connected to how you perceive your reality, and ultimately connected to your personality with trading. And look, and I'm saying this again. I don't want to start bringing up other case studies, but thanks for David for going public and sharing his story about our inner work that we've done, because we started with a podcast and he started to know the information, and he's always been hungry, and I'm saying this in front of him, this is not a compliment, but he's always been hungry for self-development. And he's like, hang on, this what you're talking about makes sense. Let's do some work together. And
No, I think
how
anyone
conscious
listening to this is going to think that if they've been listening this far into the podcast, there's no way they're not.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Sam. Finish your point. I'm sorry.
no, go for it, Austin.
No,
Go for
I
it.
was going to say, because I think a lot of traders get to the, at least my audience, that are people that I talk to that are listening to this often, they're telling me they know the answer is not in a new trading strategy. And that's part, hopefully, because they listen to me say that the answer is not in a trading strategy. You could trade any strategy. You have to be not only aligned with the strategy in the way that you use the word, I tell people in a way, you have to believe the strategy. If you, I could give you the way I trade. David could show us the way that he trades, but if you don't believe in it, you're not going to trade it well. So it's so
100%.
deep intertwined into the psychological and subconscious mind, but that's not what people want to hear. There are people that turned off this episode because they wanted a strategy. They wanted an indicator. They wanted that part of trading. Now, let me, I want to hear from both of you on this question. I've been telling traders that trading strategy is the foundation. Psychology can't be mastered. This stuff we're talking about is not even worth your time if you have no strategy. You have to have some rules that you're trying to follow in the market before you handle this. Would you guys agree or disagree with that?
I'll let David answer that.
Yeah, I agree. You know, you can't just come to the market with psychology alone and a great
mindset. Like a monk is not going to fix your problems. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah, but no, you need to, in order to trade well and efficiently, you got to have yourself together, you know? So, and that's constant, you know what I mean? For example, you take a loss, coming back from the loss, that's a psychological hit. You got to be mentally strong. You have to have a winning mindset, you know? So this is like a performance sport.
It is.
You know?
100%.
So, you know, it's like, I like, for example, the Rocky movies, you know? So it's like, you see the roller coaster of his career, you know what I mean? So it's like getting knocked out, getting back up, and believing in yourself, and like, you know, it's just like, you know, it's so necessary for trading. It's not just a strategy. I get that too in my podcast. Oh, this is not actionable, you know?
Right.
It's like, bro, like, you know,
but that's because they're new. A lot of new guys want, that's what I said, like year 1, year 2, year 3, those guys are the ones who want the strategy. They think the answer is like, give me this new way of trading and I'm going to make money. When really, like Sam was just saying, it's all screwed up in their head. There's probably so many blockages. So what are your takes, Sam? Do you agree with me or disagree?
So I agree with what David's saying, and I'm just going to speak from my experience. So this is why this formula and this thing that organically was born, because I've worked with traders that have come to me with the mindset issues, right? So they've come fresh traders, they've been trading for a year, they're not getting anywhere, and I would help them with the mindset. So I would really help them get everything in power. They're fully empowered, they're ready, they know how to manage their emotional state, but they lack the skill set.
Right.
So they didn't grow. They didn't grow. Right. And then I would still stay in communication. I'm like, but now have you got the right skill set? Have you got the right strategies? And that was an area that was missing in my work, you know? Now, and vice versa. I used to have guys that they were traders, they were experienced traders. They had the strategies, but they just never got anywhere.
Right.
Got them in alignment. Got them in alignment. And when I say alignment, meaning mentally in aligned, like
clear out the blocks.
Exactly. And boom, juice. I mentioned this yesterday. The common gentleman that me and David we know. I mean, I can mention his name. I don't think he would mind. Stephen Johnson, where he had his own channel. From 5,000 block, he couldn't hit 5,000. In 3 months, it moved from 5 to 15 to 30,000, and that's on record.
Wow.
So, and what changed? And he went public on that. What changed? Nothing changed except his mindset, right? Remove the anxiety, remove those blocks, and he was just flying. Now, besides other habits, you still have responsibility in terms of what do you do outside of trading? Are you drinking? Are you getting high? So these are areas
you're segueing right to where I wanted to go, because I wanted to ask you now, how much of an impact do those things make on a guy like him who is performing well because he's cleared out the blocks? Is he like, because you know, some people are like, you got to meditate, you got to do push-ups, you got to do this. How much are those external factors playing into this type of a conversation?
Tremendous, because you need to have the full, look, there's two fundamentals. It's the mindset, then the skill set. Those two is what again, that's how this thing is born with me and David. It's like, we want to empower people with the mindset and the skill set. Boom, you got that, great. That's giving you a really high opportunity at succeeding and becoming actually a profitable trader. However, what are you doing after that is also has an impact. Your environment, your habits, the people you hang out with, the way you deal with your life. what are you doing, how much sleep you're getting, how are you treating your body. Of course it's going to impact you, right? But that's something that when you get into alignment mindset, automatically with what we're preaching and what we're teaching, you're going to be a conscious person, i.e. Conscious Trading Academy. So you're going to go, hang on, I don't want, like David, stop drinking. You know, David, I'm sorry if I'm sharing this on the podcast, but you don't drink like you anymore, right?
So many people are quitting drinking. So many people.
Yeah.
It's very common right now.
Yeah.
Like it's a
But
big
I mean,
thing. Big.
Exactly.
What does it do good for you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's waking up, right? Waking up to going, what are the things that I need to eliminate out of my life, distractions outside of trading that is not supporting me? Obviously, those things are important. Now, do you need to meditate or do you need to do breath work? Everyone has a key, right? So it's just a matter of what works for you and how you can adapt that in your routine. But you have to have a routine. You have to be disciplined. You have to know what your skill set. You have to sharpen and always learn, because there's no end to learning. You guys are, in my opinion, advanced, successful traders in my eyes, and you guys are always learning, man. You're learning from others. You constantly developing
If you're not
yourself.
doing that, there's no way you'd last as long as me or David have been doing this. There's no
Exactly,
way.
man.
Yeah, because
Exactly,
I think if you
exactly.
stop learning, you'll not just plateau, you'll move backwards. I've seen it back. When the trader thinks they figured it out or they've made a good amount of money and now they've got it, they're one day away from a loss that's going to smack them backwards, and they're going to have to revisit things. So everyone that's been around, like David or myself, even though David has some sick stories that we talked about last time about him crushing it, there's still some painful stories in there too, where we both been wrong and we have to swallow it and eat it. You know, even Lucci, you remember David Lucci had a couple of stories where he had to go back home to Boston, like literally like that, you know? So I think that's a tale for the tape for anyone that's been through for a couple of years, for sure. Anyone, I said this, anybody that comes on the podcast and only talks to me about their wins, I almost don't even want to post the podcast, because I'm like, people will think you're not even being honest. Like anyone that's actually trading, we should be talking just about your losses, because that's really what defines you as a trader. Like what you said a few minutes ago, Sam, is what is your ability to handle losses emotionally, and how well do you make a decision after you are pushed with that loss? They push your button. How well can you handle that? And I think a lot of traders, they crumble, they get emotional, as we know, and that's why you guys are in business. One thing I wanted to make a comment on too, with our mentorship, we have a personality test that we used to make people take. And it's the Truity Big Five simple personality test, just to get to know the person, because I don't know them. And I did it. So over 180 people that have come through the program in the last 2 years, I have 180 personality tests that I've put into a spreadsheet, and I can see, okay, these were the traders who are still funded and doing well. Look at their scores on these. And it's very interesting how common they all score in specifically conscientiousness, which is the conscious trader, which is your care for your trading. And I think beyond that, the care you have for the decisions that you make. The people who are most conscientious, in my opinion, they care what they put their name on. Like, look at David, an architect. Again, look at everything David stands for in his content online. Like, David cares, if it has his name on it, he cares about it tremendously because it's important to him. And the people who don't score high in conscientiousness normally struggle a little bit with trading. They treat it more like gambling, and it's harder for them to shift into that disciplined mindset. Would you say, Sam, that you've seen similar?
100%, man, 100%. Everything you're saying is gold, Austin. And I just want to honor you for a moment, because it's really refreshing speaking with a conscious person that, you know, has done his work, and also just the way you speak, I can see your level of depth of your self-awareness.
Dude,
right?
I've taken a lot of losses and I've had to come back. I actually did a lot of mindfulness work myself. I've been practicing yoga for 6 years. I actually did my 200-hour yoga teacher training, which was a lot of mindfulness stuff and meditation stuff. So I'm down that road, because like you said, I think that is the key. Those things are the keys to unlock your next level, to help you evolve. But what I think I lack personally right now is a coach like yourself, Sam. Like, I don't have a coach that is like my psychology coach. I have my business coach who's helping me run and grow my education business and everything, but no one to really help me push through to that next level, to question if my self-beliefs are holding me back, you know? So I think if I judge myself, that's an area that even I could improve in. So can I stem, if you guys don't mind, can we stem into the conscious trader, the business, what you guys exactly have going on? Like, tell us, what are you selling? Let's get to that. Like, let's really tell the people how they can get linked up with you guys and what's going on there.
Yeah, so just to come back and just tie off the last point I was saying. So after spending some time with David and really getting to know David, because in my opinion, you know, and I say this again, this is not a compliment, David, he speaks for himself. His track record speaks for himself. Recently, Business Insider gave him a 90% verified win ratio and things. And so I mean, and so again, it's about experience, and it's about a man that speaks his, you know, walks the walk, right? So through that, we found that it was a winning formula of like, listen, You know your stuff. I know my stuff. Why don't we create an academy, which what we're doing right now, to share the mindset and the right skill set, and specifically in short selling, because that's David's speciality. Just to be clear with your audience, right? And really build this beautiful platform. So what we've done is we have right now a memberships where anyone can come on board and just be with us twice a month. We're going to have bi-weekly calls. We also have a program which we've created, which is called the Conscious Trading Blueprint. And this has honestly been in the work for over a year, Austin, over a year. Myself and David behind the scenes have been working on this. So it has it's covering the mindset element of everything we've been speaking about, reshuffling, reconditioning that, as well as the skill set, having the right foundations and skill set. But the mindset aspects, just to give you a bit of insight, is like how to master your state, how to deal with those losses that we're speaking about, how to update and change your beliefs. And I give the tools. This is what's nice about it is you know, I'll be very open and honest here, as we are all. Not everyone can afford me on an hourly rate, to be very frank with you, you know, and so again, how do we reach masses? So we've created this because it's a self-guide that shows you everything to do yourself. Plus, you get me and David on a group level of helping you and mentoring you in the areas that you feel that you're still stuck. But the whole aspect is a full transformation. We don't want to just give information. We really want to develop and give transformation. We want someone that starts the program, ends it. Then we give a 6-week program where you follow every week, day by day. What's the checklist? What do you do? Your routine. So it embeds, you know how it is. It's repetition in terms of our mind. We need to develop those new neural networks. So in a nutshell, it's transformation. And that's what we're doing. We have multiple programs. There's another program, for example, we've created where I teach people how to deal with anxiety, you know, just anxiety, like just an anxiety. If you suffer from anxiety as a trader, that hinders everything. And I've seen that throughout the years. And I'm like, well, how can I help someone know how to deal with anxiety? Give them an actual neurological tool. Because in Dubai here, I have clients, again, I work with clients from all around the world. I'm very fortunate, but I have clients that come to me just for chronic anxiety. It's like, dude, I can't get out of my head. Every time I think about the future, I just crumble. And every time I think about I'm going to have a loss, I didn't even start my trading today, and I'm already thinking I'm going to have a loss. That's not the right mindset and projection. So just to give you that, so we release that. You completely deal with that. Now, so it's an array of programs that is catered, but ultimately it's really about just creating this and holding hands and going, hey guys, I don't want to just give you a program. You can purchase the program if you want a loan, but I want to give you the program and I want to be here for you too, man. I want to go once a month, twice a month. You with David, once with me, whatever. Where are you stuck? Let me help you. Did you do this part? Did you do this module? Great. And then maybe there's other areas that come up, but it's just about being a support structure. And you know this with what you're doing successfully. Community is so important, man. Having the
100%.
right people and the right support structure around you, the right mindsets, people that are there to mentor you. You're doing a great job by mentoring others. And if you don't have that, man, you're lost, man. You're in this world and you could have one loss and then you're like crumble, like you just said, and you feel you want to quit the next day. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
So we want to give support structure. We want to give that through mentoring live and recorded calls, and we're giving the online programs, and we're doing private one-on-ones. But again, the idea is to create this group setup, and that's what we're doing right now.
I love it. I love that. I think people are it's almost like the industry right now needs that, because there's so many people who have, like myself, put their course or their strategy into a video course, sell the strategy, and then drop people off. Now, my business, I have a Discord chat where we don't charge people extra. They stay in the Discord and they can be a part of this for life, because I think I look at it the same way you do. If you're going to take my course, whether it's for psychology or for skill set, I'm not going to just drop you and leave you. Like, I want to help you and support you and be there to answer questions. I think our industry is missing that. And I think it's hard to find that from guys with proven track record, with years of experience. So to have you guys come together to do this is huge. It's huge. David, what really pushed you to bring this together into a product? Because I know in your head, in some ways, bro, you're just like, why don't I just get bigger in trading and just keep doing that? And I don't have to deal with any of this, right?
Yeah, and that did cross my mind for a long time, because I became friends with some successful traders in Puerto Rico, some big traders, and that's what they were doing. And they didn't want to go public at all with anything. So I thought about, why not just make a lot of money and just stay to myself? And then I was like, I just, I have a unique situation where I started with absolutely nothing, from like architecture school and complete student debt, and like basically being financially illiterate. and and going into taking odd jobs like Uber and all that, and tutoring, and then finding a way to learn trading, and then start a podcast from scratch, and then develop that podcast over just consistency. I know we've talked about the Gary V stuff. You just keep doing it, and you don't expect anything from it. You just stick to a niche that you love, and just keep going. And so overall, I want to inspire others, man. And I've always had something about, like, I know when I was in Puerto Rico too, like, so I'm a Latino, man. I'm half Cuban, and a lot of my people in Miami I grew up around, we just were a lot financially illiterate, So I want to bring, like, I want to inspire people to be like, you don't have to get stuck into what, the, the rat race.
Yeah.
If you want, you can be an
No, bro, 100%.
entrepreneur,
You are not, dude. I mean, even just, we didn't even talk about it, but Sam, I'm sure you know the story about David traveling to go expose. Like, everybody knows this story. Like, because like, that is being inspirational, bro. That is setting a standard higher than everybody else around you. So you're already doing that. So you have accomplished that. And I think what you need, bro, in order to fulfill that goal is guys like Sam in your corner that are going to challenge you to push you to that next level. And that's why I said, even for myself, that's what I think I need, because it's guys like us that have unlimited potential, but sometimes we sell ourselves a little short. We get complacent. It's easy for anybody. You start making a couple $100,000 a year, you make $1 million in a year. It gets easy to not do the same shit you would do when you were grinding it. Like, look at Conor McGregor, right? Like, he was amazing when he was poor, and you may give the guy a couple $1 billion. No wonder he doesn't fight as good. Like, of course not. You know what I'm saying? So I think you need the guy like Sam in the back of your ear to be like, but we can go more, but we can go.
No. 100%, man. Absolutely. So, like, for me, it's just about just keep evolving and keep, I like inspiring, and just like, and just like have been around the people I've attracted in my, bro, like, man, it's a complete, like, it's everything's changed. So, like,
dude, I mean, you can touch anybody, you
change your life.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you did, you changed your energy, you attracted all these people to you through the podcast. And now I'm sure, just like me, with your podcast connections, you could touch almost anybody you want in this business, right?
Yeah, pretty much, man. It's like my group of friends now, my circle from the past few years, it's so powerful as opposed to, like, my previous life. Oh my God.
It is. It's literally like a different person. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So I love all this, So I'm just gonna keep going, you know what I mean? So
100%.
see where it takes
me.
So
I just want to add something, if you don't mind, Austin. And
no, of course, please.
Because we're seeing that we're going deep here, and we're revealing and being fully transparent. One of the things that's driven me to do this with David also is I feel that there is an underlying mission of getting people more independent. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I've been doing what I've been doing now for some time. I run another 2 businesses. I was mentioning to you, me and my wife, we're partners. We've got a nutritional brand in Dubai as well, and in the region, and I feel like all the work I've been doing, and I'm being very transparent, has always been individual. So I've always been like, I get the people, the high client, people in Dubai, trust me, man, they've got the money, they pay, and some people in the US, trust me, they've got some people pay, and I don't mind as long as they're getting the results, right? But I feel that that's been limiting me for some time in terms of making a bigger impact. And with all honesty, the Conscious Trading Academy, the big intention behind that is, how many people can we unplug from the matrix? And I don't want to sound
that is what I was gonna say, bro. It sounds like you're pulling people out of the rat race. And I can relate to that so much, bro, because I think that's huge. How many people are like complaining about their situation, but they rely on the government, or they rely on the steady check, or whatever it may be, when you could pull yourself out of it. I did, David did, you did, like, other people are doing it. You just need to be shown it, right?
100%. You need to be shown it. You need to believe in yourself.
Because then what happens? You show it to them, you change their beliefs, you change their perception, like you said.
There we go. Well done, man. This is exactly what I was going to say. So it's just the power of, that's why, for me, there's a big area that I studied, which is called modeling, right? And modeling is one of the most important things. A lot of traders, they model the people that are, they listen to friends that they're not even trading, and they're like, oh, you're not going to make it, or you should be doing this and that. So they're modeling the wrong people. And modeling, if you don't know who to model, and if you don't know that someone is doing it, why go and copy or try and listen to people that they haven't made $10,000? They don't know what they're talking about. They don't have freedom in their life, or they're not successful in what they're doing.
And they're always the one that want to run their mouth first too.
Exactly. And they run you down as well in the process, right? So the most important thing in my opinion, and it's the easiest thing, it's actually simple, is find the right people that are doing it, that are walking the walk, that know what they're talking about, that actually are living their truth, you know, like you, myself, David. And we're not here to listen, we're not here to, and I'm not saying this from an egotic place. I'm saying this from a truth place of, really, I want to help the people, but learn from the people that know what they're talking about, and use that as a model. We call this modeling. If you're modeling the right model, the right formula, the right blueprint, dude, you're already ahead of everyone else.
Yep.
You know, and then it's a matter of believing in that, taking step by step. And there's a beautiful part where we speak about in Conscious Trading Academy. It's that 1% that David always says, and it's so true, man. Can you improve yourself 1% every day? And I love it how
James
David
Clear
mentors that, you know, and just get that moving, man. Take that step. And then once you do that, the rest is about momentum.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Boys, we could keep going, I think, for another hour, but I'm going to put a pin in it for now. This has been great. I'm so glad that we were able to circle back today after the power issues yesterday. I really can't thank you guys enough. I know the audience loves it. What I want to do is I'm going to put the links down below. You guys will send me the website and everything. Put those down below. So everybody watching, make sure you check the description wherever you're watching or listening. There will be links to check out David and Sam, the Conscious Trading Academy, everything like that will be linked down below. But boys, I can't thank you enough. I think the insight today, we did nothing with strategy, which is good because sometimes I do strategy with people and this is the opposite and it's so much more important. So I can't thank you guys enough. And hopefully you guys will grace us again, maybe in the new year. We could see how the academy has grown, if there's things that have changed, things that you're learning, and we can kind of do a part 2 and see what we get from there.
Awesome.
Austin, I want to say thank you so much. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, thanks so much, Austin. Yeah, that's been great.
Really, thank you for having us, Austin. I love your energy, buddy, and I want to wish you the best with what you're doing and keep making a great positive impact, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep striving, brother. You're doing an amazing job, man.
I love you guys. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you. Audience, we appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our future episodes, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks, everybody.